What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Anthony, Long Island Fish Guy here, and on today's video we're having one of my Around the Island updates. If you are new to my channel, my Around the Island updates is when I go around to all my aquariums in my fish room and kind of tell you what is going on. On this video we have arguably probably my biggest Around the Island update ever, because basically all the fish are in new tanks. We played basically musical fish tanks here because a lot of swapping went on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. If you guys do like this video, be sure to like the video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any other content like this. So as always, first up we have the 220 gallon aquarium. Last time you saw this tank, we added in the true parrot cichlids. They're doing pretty well in this tank. There's been a very slight aggression from them since adding them into this aquarium. Everyone else has been doing really awesome. We got the black arowana still, the two Kelberi Peacock Bass. I mean, look at this guy. Look at him. Super golden. Like super golden looking. The Datinoid has definitely been the only fish that's kind of been giving the true parrot cichlids a little bit of issues. That's really the only way that they've actually been fighting, is that the Datinoid and the true parrots. And then the new fish I've added, if you guys are following me on Instagram, is my Florida gar here, who looks super small inside this tank. He was in the 125 gallon aquarium, which you're going to be getting into with a lot of updates in a little bit. Two things: one, he was going to definitely outgrow that aquarium, and he already kind of was. And then we've also added some smaller fish to the 125 that would have been a snack for him. He looks really small in this tank, but he's probably about 15 inches. So he really was outgrowing the 125. Typically throughout the day or at nighttime, he will lay on the ground like that. But usually, especially in this tank, he's a lot more active. But that kind of covers it for this aquarium. I do have pothos plants on the top of this tank, and they're growing really well, kind of overexposed there. Here we go. Looking really good in regards to pothos plants, and you can see that the roots there are out of control. It's doing a really awesome job, and I'm kind of hoping that the pothos plants will help take care of some of the blackbeard algae problems I'm having inside this tank, as I do in all of my aquariums. Next up, we have the Discus aquarium / Archerfish aquarium. Here they are, coming all right up next to me. This tank was kind of covered in my last video. We have the 3 discus inside this aquarium. We got 2 bigger discus, and then we have this little discus. I believe they're brilliant blue turquoise discus with the clouded archerfish. I have noticed that the fish inside this tank have been extremely active. Extremely active. Even these discus, look how fast they're moving. I do have a decent amount of water flow from my canister filter up top there, as well as the AquaClear 110. So that could potentially be the reason why. I feed this tank somewhat pretty often. I usually come down here once in the morning and feed this tank, my quarantine tank, and then another tank behind me. And these guys have been just eating like absolute pigs. They eat such a big variety of food. And doing really awesome. The other fish we're going to be adding, like I said before, the 220, is this Tigrinus catfish. He is growing. I'll put a little video here from, I was actually sitting at my desk the other day and I saw him come out. He is getting humongous, guys. This is a 75 gallon aquarium. The width of this aquarium is it is 18 inches. And he probably is roughly about 8 to 9 inches right now. And I got him, I think, in August or July at about 4 inches from Global Fish Co. And he's really growing really awesome, and really happy with the way he's growing. And then yeah, we have also the Sunshine Pleco, which is right underneath that piece of wood, which he's actually gotten pretty big as well since I've gotten him. But yeah, no real updates since the last time I made this video, guys. I will be getting some new discus for this aquarium, as well as potentially even more archerfish. I do have some fish in my quarantine tank that will also be going to this aquarium that really is the perfect fish as to what I'm looking for to do when it comes to stocking inside this tank. But that'll definitely be for a little bit of a later video. Also, I have seen since the last time I did make this video that the plants in here are actually looking much better too. I also have some pothos in here. So maybe potentially the pothos is maybe what's kind of stopping my growth. Oh, one other thing actually. Heat. I had one 300 watt heater in this tank. This room is probably about 70 degrees. And I had this at 84, and one 300 watt heater basically wasn't doing it. So I actually added it in a second. So we have 2 Fluval, I believe those are the E series, and the temperature has been staying at like 84. I feel like I can bring this up to like 88. But I also read that potentially like the heat is what could potentially be kind of dwarfing the plant growth. But I don't know. I've seen people with discus and plants before and do pretty fine. But the plants are doing pretty well now, so I'm not too worried about it. Also, just looking back here, the gar is up and moving, guys. The gar is up and moving. He wants to eat. That's what he wants to do. And basically, this gar is not like all the other gar. Typically, gar will eat off the top of the aquarium. He actually likes to eat like pellets off the bottom and kind of in the mid. So look at him. Look at this guy. Great looking gar. Look at this. Look at this thing race. All right. Enough about the 75 gallon. There's my quarantine room. Let's talk about George's tank. If you guys saw my community post on YouTube, as well as my post on Instagram, my pike cichlid that was inside of this aquarium, it passed. I'm not too happy about it, obviously. It's actually my 3rd oldest fish, and he just wasn't really the healthiest. He had a really horrible diet. Really only ate freeze-dried krill, was eating a lot more sparingly as he got older. Wouldn't even take like scallops or tilapia. I kind of knew the writing was on the wall. His color has been getting poorer and poorer month over month. This wasn't something that was kind of like brand new. So, just like the gar, there's a little bit of a new stocking update in here. If you guys don't know a little bit about the history of this channel, I used to keep fish my entire life basically, and I stopped for about almost, I'd say 10 years. Then when I got back into the hobby, I got George. I got George right here. This is George, my Archerfish. Look at the coloration on him, guys. Just absolutely amazing. And then we also got this Jack Dempsey, and they always were in a tank together. Until one day, my pike cichlid really beat her up poorly, and I really actually thought she was going to die about 2 years ago, and I actually separated them and put her into the 125. These two fish have not been together for, I would say, maybe about 2 years. She probably has never been doing as well as she was in the 125 because she really didn't have any competition. As fish-related wise, she only really got along with George because they grew up together. But now, finally, they're back. And although the pike passing is definitely something that is pretty upsetting to me, my 3rd oldest fish, it really is awesome that these two are back together because these are literally the 2 fish that started me back in this hobby. And it's like just looking at this right now, it's like such a throwback. Like these fish are literally 5+ years old. And they're almost like the symbol of like me getting back into the fish game. So really excited about this aquarium. There's some boxes here, got some air pumps and some stuff from Aquarium Co-op. But this is actually the entrance to the fish room from in my basement. The first tank you see when you walk through is this tank, and I think it really is kind of like a nice thing because these are basically the 2 fish that really kind of brought me back into the hobby and kind of showed me love of the hobby again. We still have the spotted Raphael catfish, which probably will be going to a new home once I can get him out of that piece of wood. I've tried before and it's almost impossible to get him out. And then the rhino pleco. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Jack Dempsey's old tank. The 125, guys, this tank looks so different. It's so different. I rescaped the entire aquarium and we have humongous stocking changes. That 40-gallon breeder over there basically had all of the fish inside of here. We did some rehoming. We got rid of the 3 catfish. We had a 4-line catfish and 2 dwarf giraffe catfish. We rehomed them, and we also basically, some of these fish in here have been in here. For example, these balzanis. The little guy, this was the one that almost basically got eaten by the Spider Kelberi. Was in the 40-gallon, but now it's back in here. These 2 big guys have been in here though. The rhino pleco's been in there, all the brown hoplo catfish. But there's a lot of fish in here that are kind of new to this aquarium. For example, the purple spotted gudgeon, the ornate bister over there. That shovel-nosed lima has been in here. The reason why I basically scaped this aquarium like this, there's a boatload of plecos. It's right now about 6 o'clock at night. And it's not really late enough for all the fish to kind of come out. I usually feed about between 7 and 9 o'clock at night, and that's when the fish all really kind of come out. Here's also my platinum Archerfish. Oh God, guys, this guy, when he gets older, is going to be an absolute beast, an absolute stunner. This fish, first thing people see when they come down here is this fish, and they go, wow, what is that? I mean, he's pure white. I've been saying this for a while in my videos. He doesn't really look that white on camera, or like in some of my tanks with tannins in it. This tank does not have that many tannins, that tea color. So he's like pure white inside this tank. Like, he is incredible. Absolutely incredible. This tank basically will be a miscellaneous tank. There's no real description of this tank. It's a hodgepodge of fish, and that's kind of exactly the way I want to keep it. I don't really want to have biotopes or any kind of rules for this aquarium. I've seen a couple of my friends, they kind of have like kind of thrown together fish tanks with thrown together fish, and a fish that they like, they want to get, they throw into a tank. That's kind of how I'm going to be treating this aquarium. We're just going to have a lot of fun with this. Some of the other aquariums, actually all of the other aquariums, have some direction with it. My 220 has all the exotic fish. The 75-gallon Discus aquarium with the Archers. We got George's tank with the Jack Dempsey. Now we also have this kind of miscellaneous tank with a lot of different various fish. We got the albino marble hoplow catfish. Like, there's a lot of opportunities here for me to highlight specific species of fish. But one fish we don't see in here is one of everybody's favorites, and that is the Red Wolf Fisj. I've noticed in the 125 that the Red Wolf Fisj really didn't display colors like he used to. Where is he right now? Oh, he's back there. We're not going to see him really. Guys, he's literally behind that piece of wood. We're not going to be able to see him. So I've noticed that his person, we're going to take a look at some of the other fish. So in this tank, we have 3 marble hoplow catfish, which are kind of small. They're cleanup crew. And then we have this Spider Kelberi Peacock Bass. There's a reason why I put him in here. One, the Peacock Bass would eat all the fish inside of here, or at least some of them. And he really needs to be spot fed because his diet is not the greatest. And he basically will only eat if I target feed him, which is something obviously I do not want to keep doing. So we're in here just to basically beef him up a little bit. He's really got some pretty slow growth, but I've already kind of seen him get a little bit more stocky and seen his growth actually come up more. I've also done the best I could to siphon out as much sand as possible because this is basically just big chain pet store sand, and I hate it. There's still a little bit of like the old sand in here. I'm gonna try, next water change, I'm gonna take as much out as possible, and then we're going to put pool filter sand in here, and it's gonna have a lot more of a natural look, that brown look, and it's gonna give the aquarium a really nice natural look to it. This is definitely not a long-term home for this Spider Kelberi. This guy will definitely be going into the 220 once he puts on a little bit extra size, and we can make sure that he is not going to get eaten by his other peacock bass friends. I'm sorry you guys couldn't see the Red Wolf Fisj. He does this now. There's a piece of wood back there, that one right there, where he hides really well, and there's no angle where I can really see him. But if you guys remember, he was in the 125, and his eyes were getting kind of white, and his tail was getting kind of nipped on, and he wasn't really doing the greatest. His personality wasn't really the greatest. In this tank, he's doing so awesome. Like, he's displaying the old personality he used to display when he was inside this tank. Sometimes he just swings up to the top of the aquarium. I literally think that he would almost like let me pet him. That's how awesome he's actually been. So guys, like I said, there is definitely a boatload of updates on this Around the Island update. Let me know what you think is your favorite aquarium. There's plenty of updates that happened today, and there's gonna be plenty more updates that happen in the future. But that's gonna be it for this video. So if you guys did like this video, be sure to subscribe. Check out some of the other content here on my channel. Ding that notification bell if you already subscribed. Most importantly, don't forget to fish on.